Well, that was a great episode.
Indeed. Though it does leave me wondering
Wondering what?
what we do for the skip for this one. It's such a beautiful episode. I think we should do something equally beautiful compared to our usual routine.
Ah, he's got a point. What do we do instead, though? I still think we should do something.
I mean, you could do what you always do.
What do you mean?
Really? Really? You're about to record episode 70, and let's take into account the various episodes of Dimensions and Daleks. Oh, and of course we can't forget Battles and Fandom.
I think we have.
I'm still not getting it.
I think I do.
Go on, Jack.
It's stories, isn't it? Every podcast we've done, it's always told a story in some form or another.
Oh, of course! That's brilliant!
All those times you two have sat together and recorded for this silly thing, you've always told your stories, your thoughts, your feelings, how you both came together to do this. Capcom, the MCU, the terrifyingly long retrospectives, the guests and friends you made along the way. You've told their stories too. Alfie Shaw, Safi Ingar, Sophie Aldred, Kat and Nat, Oliver Smith, Josh Carr. I could keep going.
Rory Guest, Philip Hawkins, Samuel Davis, Nerd Den, Joshua Carpenter,
Joel Johnson, Mr. TARDIS, Ori, Shah, and Ben.
And Thomas Beach and Lisa Marie and George Gardner and Jed and Law. The list is endless. We've established that for sure.
and yourself. Don't forget you, jumping in to help Jack edit the pod over a year ago.
Yeah, and then I kept sneaking in, and now I'm here telling my stories too.
Well, you're already doing that with Star Doctor.
Says Red Twilight.
Man, I really need to play a doctor. I've got no stories.
Robin,
Robin,
you're a published, author.
Oh, yeah.
And we can't forget how we hit 10,000 listens recently. That's insane.
Like all good stories, they spread far and wide.
So how do we want to tell this one?
Yeah. Every story needs a good beginning.
How about the old favourite, the tried and tested, reliable as always?
Which is...
Oh, you star.
That's my name, don't wear out.
Jack?
Well, once upon a time.
This is just getting mixed in.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to an awful lot of running, a Doctor Who podcast.
Woo!
Yes, I am Jack, one part of your usual hosting team, and joining me as ever, I'm going to fall back on one because I don't want to be too thin with this. It's going to be the Belinda Chandra to my 15th Doctor. It's published author Robin Full. He's a dungeon daddy.
Oh, well, you cannot forget the Dungeon Daddy, can you? And,
I can't forget the dungeon daddy, all right.
Oh, no, you cannot forget
Oh,
that.
my.
God, we've only just started and they're already swearing. It's like having Greg Davies and Alex Horn.
And oh yes, he's my little Robin Foal. It's little Robin Foal.
Wait.
Cat's gonna love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I did say look for the task master. Or should I say task master? And I tell you what, she can be, even though she's not even in this episode, our Ruby Sunday. It's Star.
Hello. Still here. Still not going anywhere. Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry. You're stuck with me. Love you.
Aw.
Kisses.
Never be
I
sorry,
am.
Star.
Yeah, look, before we get into today's episode, I want to do something which I didn't tell you both before this, but there's something I want to apologize for something last week, actually.
Okay.
I want to apologize to Pete T before we get into the episode proper, because I know you're listening, Pete. Obviously, of course you are. But I wanted to apologize for my rating I gave Lucky Day, because I felt like I was very positive for it. And yes, I had some nitpicks. And then I got to the very end of the episode. And I think because we've been talking about a certain classic Who character that I'm not that thrilled by, I think I got a bit of a grumpy old man on me. I think I went a bit grumpy. I think I went a bit grumpy duck. I did. So I'd like to retract my previous rating for Lucky Day, and I would like to instead, despite the issues I have with it, I'd like to give it a high 7 instead, on the precipice of being an 8. There we go. Okay.
Hey, all right. That's fair enough, my friend. Sometimes just perspective helps with things, or just giving an episode time to stew. Like, I've got a feeling that's going to be the same with me when I rewatch Robot Revolution, but I'm definitely looking forward to doing this whole series back to back when it's done.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a binge of this, because I'm going to say it now. We're talking about the story in the engine today, written by Inua Ellams, directed by Macaulay McPherson. In my honest opinion, we are 5 for 5 in this series. We are 5 for 5 in terms of brilliant Doctor Who, and spoilers, I think this is one of the best Doctor Who stories ever.
It's wonderful. It's at the moment, it feels like we've gone into a 5-star restaurant. We've ordered the 5-star course, and every single bite, every morsel has just been better than the last. And this episode is so it's still Doctor Who, but it's so different to any other kind of episode we've had of Doctor Who. It really showcases just what wonderful storytelling Doctor Who is capable of. A show that can extend itself through time and space. The possibilities are endless. And when you have creative writers like this working on something, injecting like culture and the like, it's wonderful to be able to see that new perspective. It really is.
Totally is. And what I love about it as well is that it touches on Doctor Who's legacy, but I think in just the right way. I think just enough. Like, I've seen criticism of it being that it's it's the standard Doctor Who clip show. I argue that it uses it narratively, that I think it makes sense here, because this episode is all about stories. And let's face it, we've been following the Doctor story for 60 years at this point. 62 years almost, in fact. I think Doctor Who's earned the right to, in the correct way, look back and address the past. And I think it's done well here. I think when you look at something like Empire of Death, where you've literally got Pyramids of Mars playing on a fucking iPad, then that's when we have an issue. Because I don't think it serves any narrative purpose. I think it works really well in this episode, personally. But I'm getting ahead of myself, obviously.
No, that's fair. But Star, what was your opinions?
Well, the entire thing, because this whole thing is just peak. This is up there and possibly the top 3, I would argue. Top 3 Doctor Who episodes ever for me.
Wow.
High
That's
praise,
really strong. Yeah. I will say, considering we already had the Well this series, which I went on record saying I thought that was Shooty's best episode as the Doctor. This blows the well out of the well.
Yeah, you can tell Shooty's having a lot of fun with this, because if anyone's like looked at the behind the scenes, he has been wanting an episode like this for a while, and I'm so glad he got it because he is enjoying every little morsel of it. He is living through it.
I've seen people. I think I was guilty myself before actually watching it, and I think it's wrong to do it personally, thinking back on it now, and I do feel a bit ashamed of it in the fact that people, obviously the way this season has gone, the episodes have been very reminiscent of season one, and that would mean that this one was paired up with Dot and Bubble. And I still think there's a comparison to be had there, because I do think that this is the Doctor coming to terms with or understanding the fact that he is now in the body of a black man. He's a person of color, the first time that he remembers being a person of color. And start giving me a look at that. I'm not touching that a second.
We'll get there later.
We'll get there. And obviously I think this is the story we should have had way back in season one. I think we should have had a person of color writing for Ncuti. Like, it should have been the utmost priority.
Yeah,
should have been.
I agree with. In hindsight's a big thing, but looking back, you just think, wow, how's that not a thing for season one? It's maddening. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
And it does make me. It really has. Like, the year since Dot and Bubble has really torn it down in my personal opinion, personally as well. How many times can I say personally in a row? It's torn it down a bit for me, because I'm thinking, wait, hang on a second. The commentary here is they're all racist and there's no people of color in their society. And then you look at the writing staff and the producers and everything in season one, and it's like, are we living fine time? So to actually have this story and it be so educational straight away for people like us. Like, I learned things about Black history which I didn't know before, which I feel almost ashamed of, but it's not something which is really taught in our schools, which I think is so wrong as well. In fact, it's a massive point of culture, and we're only looking at 60 years ago when Doctor Who first aired, and we still had things like segregation and stuff going on during that time. Like, I feel like I'm ranting here, but it's like there's so much to unpack with this episode, and I feel unprepared because despite the fact I loved it, I've only had the time this week to watch it once.
You say that, Jack, but I think we can confidently say that this was just such a great episode for a number of reasons. It's not just the storytelling in an episode about storytelling, but the whole episode just oozes with culture, the music, the sets, which I didn't realize they were all indoor sets created for this. And they do an amazing job of all the little details, like the packets of crisps and the like that you would find in Lagos and the like. So they really made sure to get stuff that people from there would recognize me. Oh, that's my brand. I could get that from there. It's such a fascinating concept for an episode. So not only do we get the educational aspect, which again kind of links back to classic Doctor Who with them traveling to other countries and the like and getting a taste of the cultures, but we also get that kind of classic Doctor Who story, which has become more popular over the years, which is a trapped room scenario. And I think trapping the characters in a situation where they can't just immediately get out of, that's great for building tension. And it's very different tension comparing it to something like The Well, and I think that's great that we can do that.
Totally. I suppose let's dive into this proper, shall we?
Damn straight.
So straight away, I absolutely love the opening of this episode. I think it's such a brilliant cold open. Just
Is the way it goes from like telling the story to the visualizing the story, the
Mm.
way
mhm.
it's beautifully drawn, how it captures it, and then just how it all still leads perfectly into the title sequence while incorporating the title sequence as the story.
It's those sort of experimental things rather than just cutting straight to the titles like that. Like they have it on the projection, the window part there, and it takes a few seconds for it to move into the traditional opening. I would have been happy if they played it all there. I would have been happy if they'd done that, and then cut to the
Mm.
Doctor and Belinda and the TARDIS. I think it's just it's beautiful. It's so beautiful, this episode. I'm really struggling to find the right adjectives, the way to describe it, because it really is. There's so many beats I just love in it. And it just goes to show again, this is why we need fresh writers.
Mm.
This is why
Yeah.
we need new voices writing Doctor Who, you know?
I'm glad we also got a
Mhm.
taste of more animation, and it's just beautifully done with these illustrations. Like it links itself again with we want to tell a story about our culture, and that really shows with those depictions of the artwork. They could have done some filming, of like a forest on fire or something, but the fact they went the extra mile, and it just brings out that kind of, for lack of a better word, like this magic to this episode, giving it
Mm.
its own identity, and again, just leading straight into the title sequence. I love when they do new stuff with the title sequences.
Mhm.
That's always fun. That's always fun.
Yeah.
I feel with this story, and it does it all the way through, it's obviously a lot of it is talking about stories, which great way to tell a story, talking about stories. I love how it doesn't just focus on one specific way of telling a story. The illustrations are clearly incorporating like books and illustrations, that kind of readable storytelling. You've got the visual storytelling of the actual episode, and then the narration over the top of the illustrations you could count as your audio. It's
Mhm.
covering
Mm.
all the ranges of storytelling,
Mhm.
and it's beautiful. And we're saying beautiful a lot. Take a shot every time. Drink
Drink
responsibly,
responsibly.
Responsibly. Yeah.
especially if you're Robin.
Oh.
But it all flows together so nicely, and I'm glad to see that it's not just focusing on one area. It's covering a lot of different areas of storytelling.
Totally. So, yeah, like you look at when the Doctor family sits in the barber's chair and is having to tell a story. It literally cuts to a flashback of Belinda's life, like filmed like we would any other time we're looking at a companion's life, which
Oh,
is really, really lovely. And there's so many little touches in it which are just so brilliant. Just I'm sorry, I'm struggling to analytically talk about this properly because I'm just gushing over just how much I love this.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I think it's definitely safe to say that we are going to repeat ourselves a lot during this one.
Mm.
I'm very much looking forward to when we get to that nursing story in particular, because that that got me. That did. But before we
It's
get
funny
there,
it's funny you say that before you go to your other bit. It's funny you say that because as soon as it played, I just turned to Cass and I said, I bet Robin's really happy with that.
uh, I I will get there. I will
You
get
were
there.
very much on my mind during it.
Mm. I mean,
I'm not ashamed to say I was too busy weeping, literally sobbing at that part. So
ah, well, if we're already getting there, then yes, I did weep as well. We're jumping the gun, but seeing that and witnessing what my fiance goes through on a daily basis, so much amazing work from the nurse and the NHS community, so much of it not thanked for. And to see that very real side of it where my missus, she'll do a 12.5 hour day, and yet sometimes she is held back 30, 45 minutes, if not longer, because of a patient that's needed. And the fact that this patient goes out of her way to find her again and to give her that balloon. That really choked me up. That got me tearing. I was like, oh, that's so beautiful, and that's so real to be from seeing my partner sort of come home, like some days just being completely exhausted, being in tears, and it's like it's tough, but sometimes they do have that. There's little moments of hope like that, and it's just the way they captured that was it was beautiful. We're gonna keep saying beautiful in this, take a shot,
It's
but
so, and you know what? It's so beautifully human, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, what
okay.
fucking shout out to Robin's partner. Like
Yeah,
for real.
Shout out to Christine.
damn
And to
straight,
all
yes.
the nurses.
Absolutely.
Damn straight.
All the
Deserve
work.
all the fucking
Yes.
recognition.
Here, here.
Here, here.
Okay, let's talk about the episode proper now. So obviously we have the doctor. Belinda's insisting the doctor takes her home, but he says, "Oh, let's try going to Lagos in Nigeria. It's a communications hub of Africa. He loves that place. It's home to his favorite barbershop." And Belinda talks about how the TARDIS does his hair, which straight up, jaw drop. Hello.
This is a question I needs to ask both of you. Like, is this in Big Finish? Is this like official canon that's happened in a previous old episode? Doctor? No.
Hey,
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I do think that this means that the 12th Doctor switched it off and was just like, no, I look fucking gorgeous.
It does raise the question: what did the TARDIS do to the Doctor's hair on Day of the Doctor? Did the TARDIS just look at Tennant and just go, you know what? For this one story, fuck you in particular.
Yeah, and then when he arrived on Gallifrey, he's like, the TARDIS is like, oh shit, I better put it right now. Like, yeah.
You know what?
I love that, but I love the way he talks about like why he goes there and why he has this connection to Lagos and the barbershop and Almost Place. About him being like, it's the first time certainly that he remembers he's in he's in the body of a person of color, isn't he? As far as he remembers, it's the first regeneration that he can remember currently that is a person of color. Obviously, it's look, you come this far, it. The Fugitive Doctor is referenced in this, and obviously the Doctor knows the Fugitive Doctor, but doesn't remember that time as the Doctor. But it's great to see a story here of our first black lead, where we also have the first black Doctor appear as well. It's just beautiful. My only regret is that I would have loved to have seen them interact. Like that's a story which I think could be really, really important to tell one day.
I mean, doors open with the whole my story's not finished yet.
Yeah, I feel like that was deliberately said. Hopefully, whether that's me being over optimistic or not, I don't know, but I think it was really
well,
important.
do I have a Big Finish box set or two for you, Robin?
Hey,
to be fair, I do think it might have been just nodding to that, but it would be nice if there was something else.
I've seen some people try to be like, and of course people are going to be like, oh, this is RTD throwing shade at Chris Chibnall. I'm like, fuck off.
What?
Like,
No,
come on.
not at all.
Number one, they're friends, and number two, like, come on. Like, are we not past this now? Dude has not even worked on the show in what, 4 years at this point? Like, come on.
What I really... Oh, sorry, you go ahead, Star.
No, you go finish, because I'm about to change topic slightly.
Oh, same slightly, but what I'll just say is I think it's so important that the fact that the Doctor talks about, like, this is a place where I feel like I can be accepted and he talks about this, and it's interesting because while we've had little mentions of the fact of how other people perceive him now in his new body. We had a little bit of that um in Lux, and we've had like little bits, but is it interesting that we haven't had this sort of come up much more sooner, like in season one, which in hindsight, maybe they should have, but for them to talk about this, which feels very real, and like they make this doctor feel like even more, let's say, human, for like in sense terms of like, oh, like anyone, they want to be accepted by others. They want to have community, family. And for Belinda to be like, you take as long as you need, because I completely get this from my own side of things. And it's like, oh, that's wonderful little character moments. And it's just wonderful little things where it's just like, yeah, this is what's great about these two. Just like you feel that friendship forming and you get that mutual respect from them both having that same kind of side to things. What did you want to say there, Star?
I was just going to say, on topic of fugitive and something we did mention, I think we should just nip it in the bud while we've mentioned it. Uh, maybe wait a bit before you post spoilers everywhere.
Yes, this is again a massive issue with, and I do think this is the BBC's fucking fault, or Disney, or whoever's fucking fault it was, whoever's idea it was to go right. Let's drop at midnight. Let's drop at 8 a.m. No, no, no. Like, and look, let's face it. We all know the reality war is dropping concurrent, like it's dropping at the same time as it appearing on BBC One, as at the same time as it being in the fucking cinemas. Like, if we could have done this model from the start, why didn't we? I just look at, I've literally the past week or so been watching anime on Crunchyroll, right? I've fallen in love with the series Solo Leveling. I've really been enjoying that. And do you know what they do with brand new episodes of anime on Crunchyroll? They air right after they appear in Japan. Like literally an hour or so after being on Japanese TV, they're on Crunchyroll. Like this is the model, you know? Why are we in the year 2025 having to deal with this shit where people are posting straight up, no tag for spoilers, just Doctor Who, their own made up fucking hashtag as well to go with the episode, and straight up just posting screenshots spoiling massive things. This return is something that people have waited for, wanted for so long, and you're just going to spoil it for them because you have the privilege to watch the episode as it drops. Fuck you.
It's not even the fact that they're posting these spoilers after watching the episode either. I've been told by people that they've seen spoilers come out half an hour, 20 minutes in after the episode aired at 8 in the morning. So they've not even finished the episode. They've decided, oh, I'm going to do this post now, which is even crazier. But just because something's come out doesn't mean everyone else has the luxury of being able to see it. And unfortunately, that does also lead us into another thing, which our viewers listening to this, hopefully you've been in luck with avoiding anything, but there's been some major leaks coming out recently. So we just urging you all to just be a bit extra careful in your social medias and to avoid those who don't know the difference between what's revealed knowledge and what's a leak, with the latter being something that you're not supposed to share publicly because other people don't want to be spoiled. It spoils their first viewing of something, and then it ruins the magic.
If you're not sure if it's a leak, still don't post it just in case.
Yeah, exactly. Completely.
Look, we spoke about this not 2 weeks ago. We were talking about The Well, where I said I really wish I hadn't had it spoiled to me. The fact that I really wish I hadn't had it spoiled to me. The fact that The Well was a sequel to Midnight. I wish I could have just watched it and formed my own opinion on that and had the sort of like, is this, But because it's fucking, out there, people are just like, oh, I can talk about this, by generation. I said that again as well. That's another thing that people just spread everywhere, which luckily I was able to skip and miss. But yeah, like Robin said there, people just be vigilant. And if anyone does just openly talk about leaks and you see it, you are fully allowed to tell them to eat shit and block their ass.
Yeah. Oh,
Right,
Yeah.
now that bit's done. How beautiful was this episode?
hey.
Oh, yes. Take a shot every time you hear beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. And I love the sort of like the whole scene of the Doctor walking through Lagos and seeing all the people and feeling so at home. We have to remember at this point, the Doctor feels like they have no home. As far as they're aware, their home, the home they know, is gone again. They're they're walking through, and I love the sort of the atmosphere as we get to he's trying to find Omo's place, and the signs that come up, the missing pictures, and then he opens the door finally, gets in, the door closes, and boom, stuck there then for the episode. And I want to take a minute now just to talk about the supporting cast in this episode, because my God, what an amazing supporting cast of actors. Just everyone firing on full cylinders, so much so that right now, the day after, Arion Bakare, who played the barber, literally won a BAFTA last night for his performance in another show.
Really?
Just to show the pedigree of how fucking amazing he is in this role. And I'm going to say right now, I was a big fan of his from his Dark Materials, and I kind of when I had when I cared more about that stuff, I fan cast him as a Omega if they ever brought Omega back to the TV show, because he is just a phenomenal actor, and what he gives here, what everyone gives, it's oh my God, it's superb.
Everyone gives great performances, from the human characters being very human, with like expressing their wants to go back to family, to them, to football and the like. Those are very sort of human desires. And the barber, like his voice, the way that he tells these stories, the way they all tell these just amazing stories, like it draws you in so much. And it's like he's a very different sort of medicine, which I really like. And funny enough, this isn't his first foray into Doctor Who. This particular actor, for he also has been in Big Finish, in the War Masters stuff, and he was the War Masters. I believe he's written here as one of their companions, the character of Kato. So that's a very interesting fact that it wasn't his first foray on Doctor Who, and clearly they brought him back being like, hey, guys,
Dude, he was also in The Woman Who Lived. So
really?
yeah.
Oh, no, I did not see that on his IMBD.
He's literally in another episode of TV, and he's in The War Master. Yes, he's also in
Yes.
Peladon as well for Big Finish. So he's
Sorry,
appeared in Doctor Who 4 separate times now. So
Okay.
I'm sorry for laughing. It was just really funny that you seemed so proud of this little mention that you were like, I found
I
something in Big
was.
Finish. And Jack's like, woman who fell to earth.
no, not woman who fell, not woman,
Woman who
fell to
lived.
earth.
Sorry, woman who lived.
Women who
yes.
lived. No, I was quite happy with myself. I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to bring something to the table no one else knows."
Yeah, I'm sorry,
And then-
Robin. Eat shit, I guess.
Yeah, all right, I'm the fake
Uh,
fan.
Don't eat shit. That's being saved for the leakers.
yes, yeah.
Oh,
Save the
yeah, that's
leakers and the grifters.
Drink piss.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the big one now. Okay. So as the Doctor enters the barber shop and it closes, obviously the the TARDIS reacts, and it does that a couple of times. And Belinda then goes on her way to walk out of there. Robin, any thoughts on that little girl that Belinda sees on her way to the barbershop?
I'm still not sure who she was in terms
Captain Poppy. It's Captain Poppy from Space Babies. I shit you not. In the credits, she is credited as Poppy.
Shut up.
No. I'm not shitting you.
No,
it's Captain Poppy.
No, that is
it's Captain Poppy from Space Babies.
Is that real?
It's real.
Fucking hell. What? Are you telling me that they're bringing back the Space Babies?
They're bringing back the Space Babies.
Oh my.
And now they can walk.
Yeah. I guess they're space toddlers now. Space space children. So,
okay. No, I did not know that.
I'm so glad you didn't. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
I will admit, I didn't recognize it first. And I did think, oh, is this a Timeless Children thing? Are they doing that again?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
That's
what I thought.
And then the credits show up and you're like, the fuck do you mean, Space Babies?
Look, straight up, I'm going to say it now. I'm number one Space Babies defender. I am. I really enjoy Space Babies. I really like it. I do not get the hate. I do not. You know, I do think it was a misstep. You know, going, here's our bold new era, Space Babies. What the fuck? But I like it. I like it. I just think it's neat.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm glad that was explained.
You know what meme to put here.
I kind of raced to that point because I just wanted to say that I love everything about this. I love the engine. I love the supporting cast there. You know, straight we hear the story of Yo-Yo Ma and the shaman, shaman, which is beautiful. The Doctor telling the story of Belinda, which we, you know, that one shift, and which we've, you know, covered a bit already, and we get our obligatory Susan Twist. I mean, Mrs. Flood cameo,
which I thought you would enjoy this one because it was nothing.
It was nothing.
She just walked past. Yeah, like, I'm getting my pills.
Get my pills. Cool. Yeah. That's whatever. You know, I don't mind that shit. That's fine. You know, that wasn't you know, that was just meh. Whatever.
I'm glad that was the case, to be fair.
Yeah, I think anything else would have detracted from this episode because it is, again, a really, truly special episode.
I think it's important. It's a really important episode. You know?
Absolutely.
To have it be distracted by not just like series arc shit, which I guess maybe you could say maybe with Captain Poppy being there, but we don't really know why she's there. Straight up, I'm more invested in Captain Poppy being there than Mrs. Flood.
Captain Poppy is the Rani.
Oh, and there's that shift change from Jack.
No, wait, hang on. He's contemplating this.
I mean, it's better than Mrs. Flood is the Rani. That would actually make me go, what? Like, that would actually make me go, that's crazy. So yeah, no, I'll take that. Yeah, go on.
Okay, Jack. Question: what if
maybe it's just Stockholm syndrome at this point now? Maybe I'm just, you know.
Yeah.
We've put you through the engine enough.
Yeah. So what about this then, Jack? What if we never had Mrs. Flood? What if it was just Captain Poppy this whole time appearing in all these episodes?
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to picture Captain Poppy showing up to let Conrad out of the cell.
Yes. See, you're immediately more like, what the fuck is going on? And it's such total whiplash.
It's the end of Lux, and they hear like just below the camera. You want to see a real show? And it just cuts out with the bad CGI talking.
Oh no. I forgot about the bad CGI mouse.
I love Captain Poppy. Can we put her on a t-shirt?
Never seen a space baby before.
Yeah.
Can we get Captain Poppy on a t-shirt? I'll wear that with pride. I will happily wear that with pride. Do you know what? When we finish this podcast, I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna get a Space Babies t-shirt made with Captain Poppy on it for MCM Comic Con, and I will wear it on the stage as I do the Doctor Who Community Show panel at MCM. May the
All right,
24th.
who are you getting to make this?
Well, if only I knew an amazing graphic designer.
Oh, you're going to ask Jake, aren't you, you dick?
Yeah, of course I'm going to ask Jake. Oh, we're going so off topic with this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to, because there's not really much we can fault with this episode except like really tiny things. And what the good things we can say is just it's wonderful, it's amazing, it's brilliant. We are using all the adjectives.
Can I tell you something which I love the Doctor being furious and like feeling betrayed by Omo.
Yeah.
I think that's so powerful, you know. You know, he's opened himself up. He's told almost stories of himself. He's feeling, you know, he feels accepted there. He feels like he can be himself. He can be existing in this black body without prejudice, without anything else, you know, in that moment. And then that betrayal feels so real, really, really much so. And then we finally get the Doctor turn the story Belinda, and then, you know, he's there taunting the barber, who, again, the performance is absolutely outstanding, just amazing, you know. That for Abby as well, who I think is just a brilliant character, really, really great in this, you know. And the barber rising to the taunt and sort of, you know, naming himself. And I had to put the list down here of, you know, Anansi, Saga, Basset, Dionysus, Loki, you know, the god of stories, he says himself. And I love how it's like played so, oh shit. And then the Doctor instantly is laughing at him, being like, I know half these fucking people. Also, I'm probably half these fucking people. Like, literally, you know? And talk about how...
On topic of that scene, when they do the like imagery talking about all the different areas and the different gods and different places, I do love the little nod to Lux.
Yes. But not just that. There's a weirdly, like he says, like, you know, he says about, you know, and I swear it's the ship from the Robot Revolution as well.
It is,
pops
yeah.
up. It like that Buck Rogers-esque ship pops up. Then it's the place from Lux, and it's like, huh, this is interesting. This is kind of strange.
I mean, you could argue that Miss Belinda Chandra was seen as a godlike.
I suppose, yeah. I guess it is interesting. I want to come back to Abby again as well. You know, how, you know, her performance is just great. She comes and you can instantly see she recognizes the Doctor. She has this bitterness to him straight away. And he's like, huh, I know you, I just can't place it. You know, we know the Doctor never forgets a face. So it's really interesting, you know, and the barber's trying to get him to tell stories of weeping angels or ice warriors. But he's like, no, fuck you.
And I just point out how silly it would have been to bring up weeping angels.
Yes.
Because
my God.
Yeah, an image of an angel is itself an angel. That would be the stupidest thing to do.
Can you imagine? It's like, oh. Probably shouldn't have done that, you know. It's really good that there's no weeping angels that pop up later on when he's telling, you know, he's showing all his stories to the barber as well.
He's deleted Blink from his memory because of the fans.
Yeah. I mean, you would though, wouldn't you? You know, It's the Barb's just like, why are you playing this one of you on the landmine over and over? And it's like, look, it's a good story, okay? It's
You could say it's a banger, a boom.
Oh.
and then he's like, wait, why is Belinda in this one? He's like, oh, don't worry about that. No, it's the thing, and obviously then as well, we learn about the engine, which is designed like a spider, and we know that the barber is actually sort of nameless, but it's a man that's given the story to these gods, given their power because of it, and has weaved this nexus that connects cultures and ideas and stories. But now he feels that the gods have abandoned him, and he's feeling vengeful because of that. And the engine's going to take them there and kill these gods and take their power for the barber himself. And then the doctor opening the door and seeing all this closes it again. Abby comes back in and criticizes him, and the doctor recognizes her at last. She is Anasi's daughter, Abina, and we get just the right kind of fan service. Like, don't get me wrong, I've gotten to that point where I'm like, too much of it, and I'm kind of like, it's a bit wank,
But
I
this
like
was
new
perfectly
stories,
done.
but this was perfectly done, and it was so deserved.
Also,
So
can I
good.
just say, I love that they brought the fugitive doctor back just to put her in a lesbian situationship.
Yes. The doctor has always been queer. They've always been queer. No matter what people say, I'm sorry. Why wouldn't they be? They're an alien from fucking Gallifrey, beyond that even as well. Like, come on,
Yeah, no, completely. And this was so fun because I don't think any of us knew about their return either. So just seeing them, you kind of had that little jump off your seat, like, oh, it's just like pointing at the screen.
Literally, it was like Power of the Doctor for me when Paul McGann popped up. Like, I was like, because I've spoken about it from the podcast, like we had all the other doctors pop up, and I was like, oh, this is so wonderful, this is so great. And it's the second Paul McGann showed up, I jumped out of my seat and ran around the room going, it's Paul, it's Paul, it's Paul.
Fucking the same, actually. Kath nearly had it. I'm pretty sure Kath was ready to phone 999 because they thought I was having a heart attack.
And I did the same thing with this. I literally I cried a bit, genuinely. I love Joe Martin's portrayal of the Doctor so much. I really do. And I don't blame anyone for her not having maybe the screen time or the episodes, just because of how stuff worked out. Like, you got to blame COVID as well, to be fair, but it meant so much to me to see her there and to instantly just be that fucking badass that the fugitive doctor is.
Yeah.
It was like you've never left. And again, the only nitpick I have there is that I would have loved to have it for us to have seen Fugitive and 15 interact. But hey, that's me just wanted to have my cake and eat it too.
Well, it would have been really good to see them interact. I think my only nitpick is just how is he remembering? But it's like it's so much of a tiny nitpick in this like place full of stories and everything leaking through. I'm just like, I care a little bit, but not enough that it takes anything away from the story.
I think that. Sorry, I've been speaking a lot. Go ahead, Robin. I'll say my piece on it in a second.
Oh yeah, all I was going to say was like in the behind the scenes stuff, Ncuti himself says how much he really wishes he could have been in an actual like scene with Joe because he absolutely like loves their work. And while they did manage to have their kind of doctor meets doctor chat off screen, she was only in the area for like 2 weeks, so you can completely understand why her scene was kind of so short. But my God, did it land such an impact. And for her to be in this episode especially, I think that really mattered. And it just lended so much to this episode.
Absolutely. And I've seen people nitpick that as well, Star, but I think you're right. They're in this nexus. They've got stories coming through. Abby herself is a god. There's power there. I think there's so many different explanations that we could come up with. The fact that the Doctor sort of recalling her and having that scene of the fugitive coming through. I think there's so many ways we could explain it away. I'm not going to lie. It does really make me wish we were getting a target of this instead of like, I don't know, something else. If I'm going to be honest,
I think we will in future. It's
sure
definitely
we
a
will.
strong contender for
I
target
hope
novel.
so. I mean, God, I really want to connect with more of Inua Ellam's work after this. I really do, because I just think this is phenomenal. I know for a fact that the second Shooty signed up, he was pushing for Inua to have an episode or to work on the show in some capacity. So I'm so glad that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a target for this and that scene would just absolutely cook,
It would. And also, because we've just brushed on it very briefly before, the spider in this looks so fucking dope. Like, it's this. Not only is it like a giant spider, which is just bringing back to the god of spiders that they bring up. I forget the name right now, but it's this gorgeous design it is, with like the mask on it, like the artwork on it, the shack on its back, which is like it's very Howl's Moving Castle in a way, but it's
Hey,
still
hold on,
so...
hold on, hold on. I said that.
No, you did say that on the chat, Star, and after you brought it up, I was like, yeah, that's really, really cool imagery, but it's still its own unique thing, with it literally walking on this web of stories and this nexus, and it's amazing, these visuals we're getting. I mean, this is a real like Disney money sort of waving around and being like, yeah, here's some really dope visuals.
This is the prelude to the fact they spent so much money on next week's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This episode could have been done so much cheaper than it was. I think so much of it is just strong character work, strong dialogue. Yes, strong, beautiful imagery as well. But, they didn't have to go as hard as they did in this. And I really love the idea of the engine. Like, it's so abstract, isn't it? It's crawling through this nexus. But what is this nexus really? Yes, I know we see a younger version of the Barber like create it, but it's so like the whole concept of stories and it interweaving between cultures. It's not like a tangible thing. It's not a tangible place. So I think that's really interesting to see that explored here.
It bewilders me. Like, I've seen pretty much a very positive reception to this, just generally. It does bewilder me, and this is something Thomas brought up in the server, that someone rated it 5 out of 10 because it was too wordy. I'm like, it's a story about stories. Also, you're in this one space for a lot of it. There is not a lot of movement you can do. A lot of the story is guided by the vocal, the lines, the telling.
That confuses the hell out of me, because so many strong contestants of Doctor Who, a lot of them take place in an enclosed space where, guess what? The only thing the character can do is talk to each other. Are you going to say that they're too wordy as well? And in this, it's a story about stories, as you both just said. Like, that's the whole point of it. Like,
yeah,
did you not get the point?
I know. It's like, these are the same sort of people that will have something like Father's Day or Midnight rated really highly. And it's like, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it now. And I'm not necessarily saying it's this person rating it 5 out of 10, but I do think there's some racism involved around some of the criticism of this episode, and of course it's going to be because you got those twats, that are like, oh, Doctor Who has gone woke, now it's broke, How dare they have an episode that features a predominantly non-white cast? How dare they? Fuck you. Honest to God.
It's absolute bloody ridiculous. Like, first of all, Doctor Who always been woke, 100%. So shut the fuck up. Also, this whole season we have followed the first TARDIS team, which has been people of color, and this whole series so far, we've got to wait to see if it sticks to the land with the finale. But so far, season two, absolute banger of a season, banger after banger with episodes. Like, oh my God, like I'm I'm envious of people like who will eventually watch season two, who have maybe never watched it and be able to watch it on their DVD box set or watch it on Disney Plus or BBC iPlayer and just be like, damn, this is banger after banger, just quality after quality, like that binge watch. That's gonna be so good for them.
I'm not gonna lie, if they sell season two at the same price they sold season one, I'm more likely to buy season two anyway. Like, this is worth the ridiculous amount they were charging. I would pay that.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a funny one. And I say that, and I've literally got my season one my season one Blu-ray steelbook up there, signed by Shooty Gatwa.
Oh,
To be
oh
fair,
right.
the steelbook
And
for
him.
season one is very beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I can't wait to see what it looks like for
I
season two.
know. I might buy it. I've never bought a steelbook before. No, that's lie. I've got
They're
one.
pretty. They're very pretty. You know, it's the
I've always
truth.
wanted to get one, but it's just so
Mhm.
much fucking money.
I know. Okay, let's come back to the episode itself here now. So obviously, Abby has a change of heart, in the episode, and this is after the Barbers had just some brilliant fucking character work, and then Abby, saying that she's going to be the one to do the Doctor's hair, and talks about how, how in the story, she begins to braid the Doctor's hair, and she talks about how on plantation slaves transmitted information through braids in their hair, maps to freedom for anyone who could escape, hidden in a place where the overseers would never check. And this is how the Doctor and Belinda are then able to find their way to the back room and the heart of the engine itself, which is again something that I did not know before this, and I absolutely love that they include it in this story here. It's what Doctor Who is supposed to be. It's supposed to be us peeking at different cultures and different histories and learning something about them as well. So
yeah, this feels very much like it's dipped its toe back into the like classic roots of doing historical stories, while still having its other foot in the kind of modern Who setting of action,
the
and
fantastical, the supernatural. This is very supernatural in what it is. Carry on, my wayward son.
There it is. There it is. I was waiting to see if you pull it off.
But no, I love the whole part of like the Doctor feeling the map in his braids and running through Belinda and getting to there. And then, working with the ship's engine and, disrupting the flow of power. Already we know the Doctor's story supercharged it earlier. And then the barber realizing that the Doctor's connected to the engine itself and is sort of like supercharging it with his story. He talks about the Ernest Hemingway and he wrote a story in 6 words, and the Doctor's 6-word story. Oh,
that is something I want to come back to at the just before we get a Space Time Telegraph. I want to see if we can all do a 6-word story about ourselves.
Oh gosh.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
I'm throwing a star test in this one.
Damn. Okay.
Okay. But I love his 6-word story that I'm born, I die, I'm born, being the story of his life, this never-ending story of regenerations and the way it flips through all those different incarnations of the Doctor. And again, I think feels so earned. Like, we see them all, we see them in different stories there. We even see a flash of the 14th Doctor from the giggle in the end part there, proving, which we should have known already, proving that 15 totally has 14's memories. And when 14 does die, stuff happens in the time stream where he pops out as the 15th Doctor in the giggle. So there, boom. I knew that was the case. And again, I think it's Doctor Who using its legacy so well. I think it's, and
Yeah.
not just that, I think this is, Inouye talks about how as a child he got into Doctor Who watching it in Nigeria as a child. And I think it's really beautiful to then see someone who loves Doctor Who, like the rest of us, go on to write the show, have this episode set in Nigeria, have their thoughts on Doctor Who as this legacy show, you know, and how these stories are so important, how they will just carry on. That even if there's a lot of discussion right now about where Doctor Who is going to be as a franchise, as a TV show following season 2, no matter what, even if worst case scenario we enter another wilderness years, Doctor Who will still continue in books, in comics, in audios,
In the
in the
fans.
in the fans, in the minds of fans, you know? And I think that's really important here. And to quote one of my favorite Ninth Doctor episodes, just this once, Robin, star, everybody lives.
Hey. Mm.
I
Ah,
like that
so good.
you're referencing the line they use in the episode too. It's very it's almost like it's referencing itself.
Mm-hmm. And I love that. I
What's that
love
thing you
that.
say? You say, Robin?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about there, Star, but
God.
as we're on the subject of stories and I guess poems, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah, it's just beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful stuff.
Rewinding back to the Doctor's hair.
Mm.
I've been back and forth on this, but I think it would be really cool if he kept it, but it was rebraided like a map of the TARDIS.
I think
Mm.
he'd need a bigger
Much
head,
more.
much more hair, and my God, it would have to be like the TARDIS is like infinite, isn't it? So
But it'd be
Yeah.
cool to have some sort of like, or like, I don't know,
yeah, he's
some
like
sort of thing.
swimming pool, uh, wooden TARDIS
Mm. Hair,
interior.
hair salon.
Wait a second. Zero room. Oh wait, no, I jettisoned that a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to redo my hair.
Hang on. Uh, wait, why is Nissa's bedroom still here? uh, yeah, and I love the I love the human characters again, giving this respect to Abby at the end there, like just because she kept them alive by bringing them food and what have you, and then all this happened, and then I love how despite everything the barber put everyone through, they still show him this compassion. Omo says,
Yeah.
I'm retiring. You can have the shop. You can have these stories come in and happen. And I'm going to cry now, but he even gives him his father's name as well, which is just so
Mm.
beautiful. It's such a amazing gesture. Yeah.
It's it's really it's a really beautiful scene, and I think this is the perfect story to have included that because they go into a great deal of it about it within the behind the scenes stuff, but they talk about how there's so much community within Nigeria, within Lagos, and it feels like this is us from an outside perspective that this feels like this matches that tone. This fits right into what would happen in this place, and it works to the betterment of the story. Just real feel good nature to things. It's wonderful.
It is. And how's the story end? The Doctor and Belinda in the TARDIS, and the Doctor going, "Once upon a time," and then we get the end of the episode. This is a 10 out of 10 episode for me.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Cue victory music.
Hey. Okay, your challenge star.
Yeah,
your challenge.
The
six
word
words
story.
I got mine.
Oh, good. Go on, Robin.
Yeah. I wrote it down the moment Star brought it up, but for the class, I have mute, then not. Now I write.
Lovely.
Jack?
I was expecting. I forgot. What am I doing?
It was a close call, but so we're talking about stories, and the fact that I couldn't speak till I was 5, let alone read or write till I was 10, I say that's a good sense of accomplishment.
Absolutely.
How about yourself?
I thought it was going to be something like, "Don't be me, drink responsibly."
I'm sorry, is this challenge about writing about me and not the both of you?
Well, I'm waiting for Jack's because mine's very. Admittedly, I've been thinking about this longer because I've been having this all day.
Oh, fair.
I'm really struggling to make it fit 6 words, but I think I'm going to go for something like I'm just trying to be me.
Okay, that's actually good. That's a very good one. Although
That's very powerful. Short and sweet.
Well, yeah, it's literally 6 words, Robin. They couldn't make the challenge is 6 words.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to compliment you there, Jack. I'm trying to say that the power of the choice of words.
I'm sorry. I'm just being silly. I'm like, oh, someone give me a compliment. Must deflect.
No, not the compliments.
mine is simply, she fell and still got up. Because, not gonna lie, it's been a very tough year, and I think I'm at a place where I'm finally back on my feet. With the occasional stumble still here, but
Hey, you're only human.
Yeah, I'm sorry you've had that, but I'm also glad to hear that you're slowly getting there. And
I
we're
think we
here.
all, not to get deep for a moment, but I think we've all had over the last year, we've all had some stuff happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been a great time for all of us.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that we're all standing here, trying to be you, falling, still getting up. I've forgotten Robin's already.
That sounds like me. Yeah, that's appropriate.
I think that the fact we're here is what's important. Jack, take it away.
Yep, let's head on over to the Space-Time Telegraph. Okay, so as usual, we asked you to help us make the podcast. We said, send us your thoughts on the story in the engine. Got some lovely ones here. I'm going to go to YouTube first today, and I do not have to open Blue Sky or Twitter. Yay. Regular commenter, see our pal Stuck 2966. What a fun story about stories. Inua did a amazing job at linking how stories are not only a source of power for people, but they truly connect us. I feel like while some may complain that this episode was solved by yet another look at past history moment by the Doctor, it feels super justified in an episode primarily about the power and connection made by stories. In a season where a lot of episodes have very metatextual meaning to them, I feel like this is my favorite episode so far. I think this is probably going to be seen as one of Shooty's best episodes. I totally agree with everything said there. Everything said there, CR pal. Beautiful stuff.
100%.
Thank you so much for writing in. I'm going to head on over to the Time Siren Discord server now. And we've got some lovely comments here. First one comes from Tilly, Duchess of Chaos. We played. Sorry, Tilly. Let me do that again. Ominous music. We played the contest again. Time Lord. This episode was lovely. Genuinely one of the most fun times I've had watching the show in a long time. Not that the experience of watching the other ones this season weren't enjoyable, but this one hits different. Especially given the depth of the culture being represented. Genuinely lovely to see a culture I wasn't familiar with being presented on screen in such a loving and touching way. There was almost a 100% chance you weren't going to hear from me this week, given that I have very, very bad arachnophobia. But things worked out for me, i.e. someone edited me a version with the spider removed, and here we are. This is probably my favourite performance from Shooting this year, if only for the fact that he is clearly having the time of his goddamn life. It's funny because I genuinely found myself smiling alongside him a lot of the time, and that's very rare. That's a very rare thing for me. All right, now that I've got the other stuff out of the way, I will engage in a huge fangirl mode. Joe Martin is back! Yes! I fucking loved seeing her in previous stories. It was so fucking wonderful seeing her again. Woo! Sorry, don't know what came over me. For real though, I love her integration into the plot because it's a nice bone for Chibnall fans like me, and also showing this first canonically Black Doctor is still just as relevant in 2025 as she was during Jodie's era. A lot of the bad-ins over on Shitter really hoped Russell would just steamroll over Jodie's era, wagging a middle finger as he went. But I, for one, am very glad he hasn't. Seeing little moments like this and the acknowledgement of flux in 2023 is genuinely so cool for this era to include. I'm glad they're here. I just hope this isn't a one-off thing and that Martin's return leads to a bigger inclusion later down the line. Fingers crossed. Once again, I hope you have a lovely day, and my love goes to you, Tilly. Thank you so much, Tilly.
That's great stuff. And I'm so glad as well that you, Tilly, managed to get an edited version because, yeah, arachnophobia, I've got a few friends with that. But to be able to get a copy of that so you could still enjoy such a phenomenal episode, I'm glad to hear it.
I'm really glad to. I know a couple other people who suffer with crippling arachnophobia as well, and I really do hate that for them, bless them. So I'm really glad that you could get that. It'd be really nice if someone could edit a version where it's Hal's Moving Castle instead of the spider. But
yeah,
someone beat me to the edit.
Really?
Oh, really?
No, I mean someone edited it. I'm not sitting there editing an episode for you guys to watch out. Yeah, hey, pay me enough for that.
Next one comes from Casserole, or Cass as we know. I think you're familiar with Cass Star. I hope you are, Robin, as well, considering he was on our last episode with us. Cass says, 9 out of 10 episode again. Loved it. Very beautiful imagery, and I'm a sucker for stories that talk about gods. A bit confused about how the Doctor knew stuff he did as fugitive, but it's not too big of an issue to ruin the episode to me. Again, we kind of covered that, but I understand the bit there. Okay, next one comes from enemy of the podcast, Catherine Wheeler.
Dun dun dun.
My dearest, soon-to-be departeds. The barber was actually me, the master. I was just having a little joke when I told the Doctor who I was. You see, I heard I hadn't been written into the series arc and had to justify this error for the viewers at home. Who else could cut hair homoerotically? Who else could sob in the Doctor's arms at the end of the episode? I rest my case. Anyway, I did a lot of sobbing this episode. I've been a big sobber this series, actually. Firstly, I cried for shock when Joe Martin appeared, and then sobbed out of shock again when the 12th Doctor was shown in the clip show and simply didn't stop for several minutes. This caused me to miss the resolution of the episode entirely because I couldn't see through the tears. Pookie! Also, not to be insufferable, the Doctor yelling at Omo and saying he would never forgive him versus forgiving the barb at the end. Despicably Doctor Master coded. It's such a unique idea, excellently set up in the first half, and really demonstrates why writers other than RTD should touch the writer's room. The concept is fresh, the setting is exciting and new and so needed. But it still has its issues. The villain is defeated by a clip show. The story gets a bit muddy towards the end, and the Doctor actively recalls a face from when he was the fugitive. I'd made peace with the Timeless Children, and I won't bang on about it here, but part of me coming to terms with it was the idea the Doctor would always grow into themselves, even without the memories of their past lives. Joe Martin beginning the story was absolutely the right choice and such a nice surprise. But that little detail put me off. Kisses, quite French that. Catherine, or K with an X.
Very nicely put. Very nicely put.
Yeah.
Do I smell emails?
You do smell emails.
First one comes from emails don't smell.
First one comes from someone who's already been mentioned in the podcast. It comes from Jake.
Hey.
Oh, Jake says, "Hello, podcasty friends." I don't know why I read it in that accent because that's not Jake's accent at all, but still. Hello, podcasty friends. A quick review today. A visually stunning episode, rich in culture, and I loved its themes around stories and what they mean. But for me, there were many holes in the episode that left me confused. Maybe it's just the morning brain I'm going to give it a rewatch, but I unfortunately was not fully feeling this one. Nonetheless, there are a lot of people I see online who love this episode, and that always warms my heart. Let's keep telling our stories and fuel the engine as we continue our ride through time and space for the rest of the season. Much love, your favorite fan art guy. Thank you, Jake. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we also shout out the community show poster.
Yes. As always, Jake has cooked, and the community show poster that they came up with for the most recent panel, which will be happening at the end of the month, is beautiful. Series 1 inspired and just amazing stuff.
It's going to be great.
Our next one is our traditional Thomas Beach essay.
Oh, have they managed to hold themselves back under 500 words?
Yes.
Yes, they have, thankfully.
Okay.
Hello, Jack, Robin, and Star. My thoughts have come at one, but haven't arrived until 3. Simply adored this episode. The richness of the narrative and the setting was spectacular. The joy of Doctor Who is how it takes you to new worlds and experiences. This felt the most unique and fresh from anything in RTD2 so far. I'm not exaggerating. This felt so new with the culture and heritage of Nigeria, and I loved it. The music and set design was so good. There are moments where you can feel the limits of the studio space, but the set dressing looks so real and lived in. Simply beautiful. It is why it's so important to champion writers like Inua Ellams, voices outside the UK/US, fresh ideas and experiences. As a story, I found myself gripped by the interpersonal stories of Omo and the Doctor. The scene of the Doctor's reserved outburst, that emotional betrayal, had me hurting for him. Feeling that sense of need to belong and be accepted, this episode felt more like a stage play drama than television, which some may have issues with. However, in a show like Doctor Who that can skirt the boundaries of genres and formats, I welcome the dialogue-heavy story here. I am personally entertained by performances and how actors work in a space. Speaking of, this is such a definitive performance from Ncuti. His emotional range as an actor has really matured, and you witness such a marvelous display here. Marvelous. any random scene and he is giving it his all. Another standout is Arion Bakare as the barber, a role that had so many people speculating on if he was going to be a god or a Time Lord. And I'm so thankful he wasn't that. He had so much presence and a character motivation, so the creative, a devotee to the myths and legends, hit home so much to me personally. His resolution was so incredibly sweet. Being given Elmo's father's name was incredibly touching and brought the story full circle for me. Stories, histories, legends being passed on and persevering. My favorite moment was being his monologue reveal, only for his little yes as the doctor laughs and tears the facade down. It's a sweet inversion of the typical big bad reveal that is often cliche now from Russell's Pantheon stories. Doctor is just so over these gods now, even wanting Daleks, Cybermen, Weeping Angels, and Ice Warriors. Poor guy. Kind of relatable. I miss the big shouty boys. I have rewatched this story the most, overtaking Lux. Every time gives me something to enjoy. It remains a highlight in an already amazing series. I proudly give this story 10 out of 10. It feels right. It's beautiful. Well, it's not a perfect 10. It hits so much to make it that 10. Lisa Marie's thoughts.
Ooh.
I love this story. Despite having a busy weekend, I found myself being captivated by Belinda's life as a nurse, as it feels so true to life. I really like the Doctor's vulnerability and emotional center. I was hit by his betrayal. By Omo. I'm fascinated by learning about the Doctor's life beyond what we see on the telly. His humor and taking the piss out of the barber when he claimed to be all those different gods. Love the Marvel reference. Really great lines in the writing as well. Don't let this be how your story ends. This just shows why we need more writers other than just Russell and Moffat. Russell just needs to take a step back, in my opinion. Let new talent thrive while he keeps the lights on. I just really, really hope that the two-part finale sticks the landing. Hey, Lisa Marie, we all hope it. I think it's going to shit the bed, but hey, if I enjoy next week's episode, that's still 6 episodes in a row that have been fucking brilliant. This series has been so fun to watch with Thomas every Saturday morning. It would be such a shame for it to flounder at the very end. Thanks again. Really looking forward to hearing your thoughts, Thomas Mad Beach and Lisa Marie.
Hey.
There we go.
Very, very good points. Thank you.
Shut the fuck up, Robin. There's one more. Oh! Surprise! Peter Beach cameo.
Oh! Is he talking about Canyons again?
Since you loved him so much last time, he's back and rambling at his very best. You brought this on yourselves. There's two 20-foot shipping contained. There's two 20-foot shipping contained stacked on top of each other, which are bob on. Whoever constructed them has them banging. All in all, it is a great story. I love the way that stories are translated into the window of the drawings. The African inspiration, that's great. The episode took me back to when I was young because I remember having all them and computers in the market. I wondered where they got them from. Everything's so vintage and styled, especially the clothing, which looks very 70s. Why has the barber shop got 7 fuse boxes and 4 of those are only 3 phase? If anyone notices, outside the barbershop, there's a set of double doors. They look just like the ones on a council house shed. Kudos for recycling. Summary. I love the barber's shirt. Love the crossover for Joe Martin. Yeah, I like it. Solid 8.7 out of 10. Pete, actually Mad Beach.
Oh, I love that they can bring stuff to our attention that we'd never spotted or never brought up. That's
absolutely.
I want another Quarry episode.
I do. I really do. I love it. Do you know what we should really do? We should go back and watch some like Pertwee era episodes with some beautiful quarries in them and just wait for the Peter Beach email to come in.
We'll do the Quarry specials.
Yes. Let's do Doctor Who's top 10 quarries.
Always.
No, bet. Let's actually do it.
Oh.
This is preserved in the video.
It's Cannon Buster. It's time for the Cannon Buster. It's Cannon Buster time. So, the Cannon Buster. Anyone who hasn't watched before or hasn't listened before, this is my little segment where I talk about something in Doctor Who canon, which we kind of have to look at and appreciate as being canon, despite the fact it may be a bit weird or a bit strange, and it may be for the expanded universe. But still, it's still incredibly, incredibly important that we just say, hey, it's all canon or none of it is. One of the gods that is brought up by the barber, who he claims to be, is Loki. Robin.
Yes, that is correct.
You may have remember when I was talking about that, the Doctor said, I know half these guys. I am half these guys. The Doctor is Loki.
That's explored in one of the newest novelizations, isn't it?
It's explored in Dark Horizons. Someone does mistakenly love a Doctor for Loki, but according to one account, in the story Picnic at Asgard, which is the story in which the Doctor and River Song journey to Asgard for that picnic, which is referenced in something there, he is actually the inspiration for Loki. Something he's aware of by his 11th incarnation, which kind of makes sense because I'm not going to lie, the 11th Doctor kind of just is Loki. You know, he is a trickster god. Absolutely. You know, he has the same grandstanding and ego that Loki can have at different times, particularly if you look at the MCU version. So, yeah, there you go. The Doctor is Loki.
Yeah, he keeps that fact a little low key.
How do I kick her from the
I'm sorry, did I hit a force knot?
Let's play Get Help. I tell you, with that, what an incredible episode of Doctor Who that we talked about today. And again, I just hope next week we have the Interstellar Song Contest by Juno Dawson, the first trans writer for the show.
Yes.
And someone whose work I have loved for years. Like, I'm going to say now, it's preview for next week because I'll talk about it. The Good Doctor is not only one of the best Doctor Who books ever written, it's the best 13th Doctor story. There. Okay. So
I'm just reminding you, I have claim on the next episode. You guys fought over likes. I've got dibs on this one.
Hey, it's fine. It's all right. Whatever. I'm still boycotting the real Eurovision anyway this year. So bye for now.
No, same.
No, I think I will instead watch the Eurovision movie on Netflix again because I actually that's kind of a guilty pleasure for me, that one is. And all the same, even though I won't be watching Eurovision, I still want to support those girls. Remember Monday, because that song is banging. And on that note, I have been Jack.
Yeah. I have been Robin.
I have been Star.
This has been an awful lot of running, and we're getting home the long way round, and that is going to require an awful lot of running. Ta-ra for now.